Oh my God, I am going live. I was doing a test on how to go live and I managed. So now I'm going live for the very first time. So if I'm doing anything wrong, please let me know. Yes, I don't see anybody coming in. I'll wait if I get even one person, whoever has joined me. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm just going to go ahead, and whoever is going to join me later will listen. So, on this live, I want to take you guys through the cabin crew interview selection on how it goes on, like what happens in that place, how to go about it. Like now there's so many airlines that are making people redundant. So when everything goes back to normal, definitely the business will pick up and they will need quite a number of flight attendants. And this is a great opportunity for you to equip yourself with what is needed for you to be a flight attendant. And I will take you through step by step on what you'll expect on the interview and how to prepare yourself for the interview. So thank you for joining me and let's do it. So when you are going for a cabin crew interview, what you need to know is one, most of the times they used to check on height, but nowadays they're not very strict with height. So if you're a chick, wear quite high heels, although they will ask you to remove the heels before they take your measurement. So that's a trick they do. But wear your confidence, that is something that you really need. Anyway, so when you reach there, you'll give out your envelope and everything that you've brought, what they asked you to bring along. So the interview starts with an English examination. So basically, the English examination is not like they're looking at your grammatical or whatever, or they're looking how fluent you are in English. Not at all. What they're looking at is, are you able to converse in English? Trust me. Like I'm from Kenya and I was thinking like, oh my God, your English has to be top notch. No, all they want is bare minimal requirement on that you can speak in English, you can give directions in English, you can do what is this? You can, if it is safety requirement, you can guide people on what to do, like safety wise, as long as you can speak English, that is good to go. So you don't have to have proper grammar or to be top notch in grammar. So that's the first part that you go through. So they take you and they give you like 20 minutes or 30 minutes to do an English exam, and then it's collected. They just check that you understand the question, you can read, you can write. That's all. So now we go to the main interview itself. So for us, what happened on that day, after the English test, they come and they select people. So a bunch will leave and some will remain, those who are going to the next step. So those who are going to the next step is, there's a time you'll be taken into a room alone. So this is like a one-on-one interview with the interviewers. And what happens in there is, when you enter the room, yeah, there are two people seated. One is gonna interview you, and the other one is just looking at how confident are you, how composed are you, like, are you too hyper, are you too cold, are you lukewarm? They look such things. How is your poise, how are you, like how you carrying yourself and things like that. So on this room, when I entered, they were like, they gave us how many things? Five. There was a newspaper, there was a mobile phone, there was money, there was water, a bottle of water, and there were flowers. So they're placed just random, and then you're asked, before you take your seat, you're asked to pick one. So I picked the rose flower. I know water is life, we need mobile phone for communication and all that, but I picked flowers. And when I picked the flower, she asked me to take my seat. So I went and sat down, and then they ask you, why did you pick that particular thing? So for me, why I picked the flower was, I said that flower represents the human character. Because if you look at a bed of roses, all you see is the beauty of roses, but you don't look at the thorns that are underneath the flowers. And that's why I said, like, for me to be a flight attendant, people come in with different characters, people have different personalities, and I don't have to judge people based on their personality. What I should pick from people that I meet, whether strangers or friends, is the good part, is the good character, like I should be more accommodating to the positive side and just ignore what is not working in their lives. So I don't concentrate on their thorns, I concentrate on what I see, which is the beauty of them. And that's what I said, and they were quite impressed. And then, of course, there is water. You can say water is life. We need water. We can't survive without water. If you speak mobile phone, you can say the mobile phone is really important nowadays. It's second, like it's no longer a luxury. It's like, like we need it on day-to-day basis. If you pick something to do with the newspaper, you'll say, well, you're picking newspaper. So they want to see your argument on why you do stuff. So you really have to have strong points on what you pick, know that you can really describe and you can really say how important that thing is to you. Then after that, you go for an interview of one-on-one. You have to say about yourself, and this is where you sell yourself. Now, it's really good for you to remember that if you're going for an interview, most of the time what you need to concentrate is, what are these people looking for? What are they looking for? Are they looking for someone who is very beautiful because they want to sell maybe a beauty product? So you need to, before you reach even at the interview, you need to find out what is the organization or what is the company all about. So for airline, they deal with people. So if they deal with people, they would want people who are very, somebody who is very spontaneous. They want someone who is very understanding, someone who is very patient, someone who is friendly, someone who is very understanding, because you're interacting with people from different backgrounds, from people from all over the world. So they don't expect you to be someone who is very judgmental and things like that. So those are some of the things when they ask you to sell yourself, like tell us about yourself, you go like, my name is so-and-so, and is so-and-so, and maybe you mention a little bit about your background and this and this. Then they ask you, why do you want to join us? You say like, I love traveling. I've always loved traveling, and I like making new friends. Visiting new places has always been a hobby to me. And the best part is I like making friends. And, like when they hear this, they already connect that this is someone who is going to connect with our customers. This is someone who is going to bring the vibe that we need. So you give yourself some marks, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, what else do they do? And then after that, you are put in a group discussion. The group discussion depends. In our group discussion, we had, we were like 8 or something like that. And then you are given different roles. So you're asked, like, maybe you can be the captain of the ship. Another one is a doctor. Another one is a pregnant woman. Another one is what else? Yeah, like you're given different roles. And then you're asked to pick a role. And you have to defend your role, that you'll be told that that boat is about to sink or that ship is sinking. So you're supposed to save yourself, not to be thrown out, because apparently only one person can be left on the boat. So you have to really be smart on what you're picking so that you can defend yourself. So I was a pregnant woman, and I said I want to be a pregnant woman because I was defending myself that we will, if they throw me in the water, they will lose 2 people, not 1. So they have to leave me because maybe the child I'm going to give birth will be a doctor or a pilot in future, So you have to really, like, it's just fun, but you have to support everything you do, you have to give it, like, you have to support your points while you're choosing that thing. Yeah. So anyway, so that's how the interview is. It's a long day thing because there are quite a number of you, and the interviewers, they have to agree, because there are like 3 of them. They have to agree like what what one has seen or what one has evaluated in you is what the other one has seen. So you have to wear the smile, you have to be warm, you have to be positive, like all those things, those nitty-gritty things, they really check. Your grooming has to be really nice, like not exaggerated, just, bare minimum, but end of the day, well blended in and things like that. Don't go like with so much nails and this, like, oh yeah, not those things. Anyway, so let me take you through also the good side of being a flight attendant. As many people know, let me have my drink. This is gin tonic. As many people know, like flight attendant job has a lot of prospects in terms of exposure, in terms of meeting people, in terms of seeing places, in terms of living good life. Oh my God, it's a whole package. It's just a package and a half. You go to all those beautiful hotels, all the swimming pools, all those wild things. I don't know if whatever, like all the seven wonders of the world. Like you just have you meet so many cultures that it's amazing. And if you're someone who is outgoing, it's even more fun because every time on a flight attendant job, you don't get to fly with the same people. You get different people every time you go to work. Yeah, there's a coincidence you can fly with someone twice or three times, but that's not like the daily thing. You get to fly with people of different nationalities, people of different characters. So sometimes you just go and you go like, guys, after this flight, if it was so tiresome, you're like, after this, let's go, guys, and have a drink. Let's just go and have fun. So you guys go out, you have fun, you dance, you do this. Like it just gets so cool. But man, you also have those challenging days. Hey, the flight attendant job is not a joke. Sometimes it really gets onto you and you just feel like you want to pull your head off. The biggest challenge in terms of physical is the timing because when you're flying, sometimes you get to have your wake up call at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. is when your body really wants to take a rest. And that's the time you're actually forcing yourself out of bed to go take shower because you're being picked at 3 a.m. because your departure is 5 in the morning. So that's really challenging. Or sometimes you find that you have a flight that departs at if the flight is departing at midnight, then you get to be picked around maybe 8 or 9 in the evening. Then if the flight departs at midnight and the flight is like 7 hours, now you can imagine midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, when your body is crashing. That's the time you're at work. So those are really challenging situations, times for the body. Like even if you're so energetic, you take coffee, you take this, but still you will feel like something is drowning you down. And then another thing with timing is time zones. I work in Abu Dhabi, and that time when you go like somewhere like New York, it's completely opposite timing. And then you find like where you're going is like -7 or -8, and where you're coming from is like GMT +4. So you find that when it's daytime where you are, where you're going, it's nighttime. So if you leave your destination like maybe in the morning, 7 in the morning, so you fly, maybe the flight is like 12 hours or 13 hours, you fly across, right? So when you reach the other side, remember when you left this side, it was daytime yours, and the other side, it was nighttime. So now you're flying during the day, and the other side also the night is going, yeah? So by the time you reach on the other side, it's already daytime. So you find that you left here daytime, you flew 12 hours. When you land the other side, it's again daytime. So you're forced to sleep on that daytime. And then, because now you're tired, you have to sleep. So when you sleep, when you wake up, now you are fresh, you want to face the day. Actually, the day there is ending, it's getting dark. So you have to manage those things. And then also things like relationships, things like marriages, those are really tough, and people who have children, because it's not easy to keep leaving your family and flying and things. So sometimes you have to sacrifice a lot when it comes to family matters. So those are some of the challenging things that you go physically. Now let's go into the flight itself. When you're a flight attendant, people say it's glamorous. Yes, it's glamorous. That one we won't deny. Like it's a good job. But I'm saying from the bottom of my heart, we have people who come and they can't take it. Like they're like, I'd rather go and become, I don't know what on the streets, but I'll never do this flight attendant job. Because you find like when you're dealing with people of different characters, there are people who are very, very hard to deal with. And this is someone you've never seen. They've come with all their pressures and all their nonsense, and they just want you to bow down to everything you're saying. They don't want to follow the rules, and like they just make your day so awful. And then sometimes you have like the biggest challenge for me used to be sick patients. When you have someone who is sick on the plane, it's really, really bad because sometimes, well, there are these minor cases, someone is nose bleeding or just slight nosebleed, or sometimes it's like a headache or maybe, stomach upset, things like that. But we have major diseases. You get someone, sometimes you have people who have like heart attacks. You have sometimes you get someone like who has gone through childbirth, like, oh gosh, you get like really big stuff, and those ones, like, sometimes they're really scary. So for me, it used to be like my prayer, like, please God, I don't want to have anybody who is sick on that plane until we land. Like, I used to make my prayers before I fly. And yeah, so I only had one time where I had a death on board, and it was on a New York flight, and the flight was at about 14 hours, and then we had done like 13 hours. So I decided, like, it was a 380 aircraft, so we have the upper deck and the lower deck. So on the upper deck, everybody was sleeping. We had finished the service. We were like 2 hours to landing. So everybody was still asleep. We were to switch on the lights like an hour before or 1 hour and a half before we start descending. So I asked the crew upstairs, like, are you guys okay? And they're like, yeah, we're good. Everything is okay. But man, people are not okay. So when I went there, they were seated and everything was okay. Then a crew came to me and she said, like, oh my God, Sempeo, we are having someone who is not feeling well. She's diabetic and he's fainting. So diabetic and he's fainting. Diabetics can be bad, right? So I don't know, for the first time, I've dealt with so many medical emergencies on board, but that day I felt like my heart sank a little bit. Like, so I ran, and then we have this equipment, safety equipment. So I picked the safety equipment and I ran to the scene. Sorry guys, I hope you guys can see me properly. So I ran to the safety, I took the safety equipment, I took an oxygen. So I took the oxygen, I reached there. The guy had put his head down. So I was trying to get his attention, like, can I hear? I needed a response from him to know, like, he's breathing, and so we can know the next first aid we're gonna administer. So I kept on calling him, and the guy was not responding. Then I had him gasping, like, like that hard type of. He's trying to get some air. Then I knew, oh my God, this guy is going into cardiac arrest. So I requested to have the defibrillator. So we brought the defibrillator there, and then I checked his pulse, I checked his response. There was no response, there was no breathing. So we had to start we started giving him CPR. And trust me, that CPR is not easy when it's your first time to do on a real body, because we are not doctors, we are first aiders, right? So we did it for 1 hour, like 14 minutes before we were asked to stop by the medical practitioners. And yeah, that's how we lost the guy. So of course, when you land, you have police reports, you have company reports, you have to go for investigation. It's a whole mess. And end of the day, who wants to deal with a dead body? Who, especially when it's not your field? It just scares you, right? So yeah, those are some of the challenges you can face on board. But the good thing is you go through a first aid training. You are trained on how to help someone give birth. You are trained on how to help someone who is in cardiac arrest. We paid for the doctor. You do you're given those whatever. So if you want to be a flight attendant, don't be scared of those things. You'll be trained. The good thing is just make sure you have your knowledge with you properly, so you won't be like scared to deal with some emergencies. Yeah. So those are some of the challenges. And you also have those washing toilets, and someone puking, and someone getting drunk and becoming abusive, and then you have to even involve police on arrival, or someone deciding that they're going to, like, it's just a typical like a crowd thing where you can't control each and everything that goes on, but of course you try to enforce the rules as much as possible. So if you guys want to go for, whoever wants to go for an airline like a cabin crew job, it's a good job, especially if you're young. It's a good job. You'll tour the world at company bill. You will see the world without paying any fare or anything. And yeah, you'll just enjoy, but just be smart, save, and just give yourself time frame on how many years you want to work there. And yeah, you do your exit and you do your other things. So I just thought maybe I should share what goes on in those companies, interviews, like the airline itself. If you guys have any questions in regards to anything about flying, I've flown for quite a while, so I don't think there are questions related to flying that I will not be able to answer. I think I am in a position to answer, unless it's something completely out of that bracket. But if it's anything within that frame, then I think I'm in a position to answer. Yeah, this was my first live. I see 2 people, 3 people, like that. Thank you guys for whoever came to see my video. I am so grateful. And if I get a good response, I hope to do more. But this one will be like outdoor stuff. We can try. And yeah, thank you guys. I just feel nice that I did my first live. And till next time, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do so. And if you have, thank you so much. Shout out to Yvonne. Shout out to Janet. Shout out to Kipembeo. Shout out to Janet Ndisha. Shout out to Marianne, Judy Bahati. Oh my God, you guys, like, you really support me. You give me like morale to go on. Like, you've been holding my hand all through. I can't mention, the list is quite long, but I am so grateful, and I am super, super grateful. Thank you so much. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I promise you, I'll make this channel like a dope channel. We will be so much entertainment on this channel. You don't want to miss any of my upcoming videos. Till next time, God bless you. Uwi, nimesema